Today I'm making the combat shotgun from Fallout 3. For this build, you'll need EVA foam from your local hardware store, hot glue and a glue gun, Elmer's glue, sponge brushes, paintbrushes, paint, cereal box cardboard, metal, 1 1/2 inch PVC, 1 inch PVC, 1/2 inch PVC, PVC cutter, X-Acto knives, scissors, screws, foam core poster board, rotary tool and bits, gloves, goggles, and a respirator mask. First, draw the rough shape of the handle onto a sheet of EVA foam. Cut it out with the X-Acto knife. Here's a still shot so you can get the dimensions right. Use this piece as a stencil to trace 2 more handle shapes onto the foam. Cut those pieces out. Cut these notches out of the middle piece of the foam, and then cut these structural support pieces out of foam core. Begin to assemble the pieces, but before you complete the handle, make this trigger mechanism. Finish assembling the handle. To get the curved shape, apply the hot glue in between the foam sections and hold them in place until they dry. EVA foam insulates heat, so this will take a very long time. There's no getting around that, you just gotta deal with it. Round the edges with a Dremel. Dremeling foam creates a lot of dust, so make sure you do this in an area that you don't mind being messy, or that you can easily clean up. Cut this end cap and glue it onto the handle. Use foam and cardboard to make the trigger guard. Put these screws in the back of the handle. They're really more decorative than functional. Also put screws in the trigger cover plate. Cut and Dremel out this notch in the handle. Cut a 22-inch section of PVC pipe and make sure that it's slanted at one end. Cut these holes in the side of the PVC. This is actually the heat cowling which goes around the barrel. I didn't have a long enough section of the correct diameter PVC, so I ended up attaching a bunch of pieces of scrap PVC like so. Yeah, saving money! Put a foam stopper on one end. Paint it like so. Slide the barrel into the heat cowling. Notice how the heat cowling hides the areas where the segments come together. Dremel this rounded piece of foam. Cut this shape out of cardboard. Attach all the pieces! Make more pieces! Shove the slider right on in there. Make sure you've got the proper length. Attach this piece of foam to help hold the slider in place. Don't glue it yet. Glue the slider rail at the other end. Cut this piece of foam for... Wait, why did I do this again? Oh, right, it's the grip for the pump thing. Yeah, alright, I got it. So to get that shape, you have to Dremel the notches in the grip. Then bend the sides and make sure they stay with hot glue. I also used a heat gun somewhere in there. Dremel 14 freaking notches. To prevent the foam from absorbing paint, you have to coat it in at least 5 or 6 layers of Elmer's glue. Cut and attach these pieces to make a receiver for the magazine. Cut these circles for the magazine and slowly glue it all together. I put in a bunch of foam supports. You don't really need that many, I'm just trying to get rid of excess foam. Put the end cap on. Dremel it to look like this and then begin the arduous process of applying layers of glue. Make this piece out of scrap foam and attach it to the front of the magazine with hot glue. Continue to coat the foam in layers of watered down glue. I use scrap metal to make the forward side of the gun. Cutting metal with a grinding bit can be a somewhat dangerous process, so be sure to take the proper safety precautions. You know, if it concerns you. I suppose it's possible to make this piece out of cardboard, but nah. Bend the metal and attach that as well as some of the other detail pieces to the gun. Now that the glue is dry, it's time for painting. I use spray paint for most of the gun, tester's paint for the trigger, and acrylic paint for the handle. I used acrylic here because I think the brush strokes help to simulate a wooden texture. Once the paint is dry, slide the grip onto the rail. Okay, now you can glue that front piece in place. If it's not tight enough, you can attach Velcro to the drum magazine to hold it in place. And that's how you make a combat shotgun from Fallout 3. Yeah! Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked that video, you can check out some of my other gaming prop tutorials right here. Or you could subscribe for more videos. Or both. You know, whatever you want to do.